Long Branch Braves. How are you doing today? I am exploring a really special place, a frozen place called the Arctic. And I am sitting here in a snow cave. I've been exploring and I have found some polar bears, and I wanted to read you a book about polar bears. This is an AR book. And there is the quiz number. It's 171999. If you would like to take a quiz on it, remember, don't take a quiz until your teacher tells you that it's okay. So today, we're reading Polar Bear by D. Phillips. This book, my friends, is a nonfiction book, meaning that it is real. Here's our table of contents. The table of contents, remember, is going to tell you the page that the sections are broken up into and where that section begins. Welcome to the Arctic. It's a springtime morning in one of the coldest places on Earth, the Arctic. A huge female polar bear crawls out of her den. Her two tiny babies follow her outside. For months, the den has protected the bears from the freezing winter weather. Now the bear cubs follow their mother as she looks for food. An adult female polar bear weighs up to 650 pounds. A male bear may weigh up to 1,200 pounds. That's as much as 8 adults. Or a small car. A polar bear's world. In a polar bear's Arctic home, the land is covered in ice and snow. The ocean is so cold that part of its surface is frozen all year long. This large island of floating ice is called the Arctic cap. In winter, the ice cap grows even bigger as more of the ocean freezes. Sometimes the ice joins up with the shore. My friends, here you can see the very top of our Earth is the Arctic cap. The red dots on the page show where the polar bears live. In winter, temperatures in the Arctic can drop to negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's much colder than the inside of a freezer. How does a bear stay warm? A polar bear has 2 layers. This is important, my friends. 2 layers of fur that keep it warm. The top layer of fur is long and thick. The next layer, called the undercoat, is short and woolly. Under the bear's fur is a thick layer of fat. The fat also helps keep the polar bear warm. The bottom of a polar bear's paw is covered with fur and bumpy pads. The pads and fur grip the ice and snow, and this prevents the bear from slipping when it walks. A polar bear's paw measures about 12 inches in width. My friends, I have made something to show you just how large a polar bear paw is. So I took a sheet of paper and I measured 12 inches across with my ruler, and I measured from the top to the bottom 15 inches. These are the bumpy pads on the bottom, and if any of you have a dog or a cat, you can see they have the pads on the bottom. The polar bear uses them kind of like no-slip socks, and some of you may have socks that have little rubber things on the bottom that keep you from slipping around your house. These claws, look at these claws, my friends. They are between 2 and 3 inches for an adult bear. That's how long they are. Imagine how much flesh and fish and seal they can tear into. Hungry bears. Polar bears spend lots of time searching for food. Their main food is ringed seals. Very important. An adult polar bear mostly just eats the part of a seal's fat called the blubber. The fatty blubber gives the bear lots of energy and helps keep it warm. Bears also eat walruses and seabirds and dead whales that get washed up onto the shore. An adult polar bear can eat 100 pounds of seal blubber in one meal. It often leaves the meat and bones, and the Arctic foxes and young polar bears feed on these leftovers. In this picture, you can see there's an Arctic fox just waiting around to see what the polar bear is going to leave, hunting for seals. Polar bears hunt for seals on the frozen ocean. Important. First, a bear finds a hole in the ice. The bear does not make the hole in the ice. They have to find them. Then it waits sometimes for hours. Finally, a seal pops up from the hole to take a breath of air. The bear hits and kills the seal with its giant, powerful paws. Then it drags the dead animal from the water using its paws and teeth. Sometimes seals rest on the ice. If a polar bear spots a seal, it slowly crawls toward the animal on its belly. The bear's white fur helps it blend in with the ice. The seal doesn't see the bear. Once the bear is close, it attacks. Fun fact for you, everybody. A polar bear's fur is not actually the color white. Polar bear fur it's hollow, just like a straw. It's transparent, meaning that it's almost clear, and its skin is black. So the polar bear fur appears to be the color white from the light reflecting and being absorbed into the polar bear fur. Also, it uses its hollow hairs as an insulator because the air gets in the hairs and warms up and helps keep the polar bear warm. A bear's everyday life. Polar bears may walk for hundreds of miles in a year looking for seals. They also swim from one huge chunk of floating ice to another. Very important. An adult bear can swim all day before getting tired. Their huge paws act like paddles in the water. When it wants to rest, it climbs onto the ice and lies down. There are often very heavy snowstorms called blizzards in the Arctic. During a blizzard, a bear digs a shallow hole in the thick ice or snow and climbs in. Soon, the bear is covered with falling snow, and the bear stays buried until the storm passes. It seems like this would it would make the bear cold, but actually, the snow around the bear helps to insulate it, and it actually keeps it warmer. A den for baby bears. Adult polar bears spend most of their time alone. In late spring, however, male and female bears meet up to mate. In late fall, a female bear digs a den under the snow. Then she climbs inside and spends most of her winter sleeping. Very important. In November or December, she gives birth to 1, 2, or 3 cubs inside the den. A newborn polar bear cub is about 14 inches long from its nose to its bottom. It weighs just 1 pound. I brought a can of beans just to show you what 1 pound feels like. So if you have a can of soup, or if you have SpaghettiOs or chicken and star, something like that in your pantry, you can actually feel how much a baby polar bear weighs. And this is just an estimate because this weighs 15 ounces, and actually 16 ounces is a pound. So that will give you a great idea of just how much they do weigh. Okay. Little polar bears. Inside the den, the cubs stay warm by cuddling up to their huge mom. They drink milk from her body. The cubs grow bigger and stronger. When spring arrives, the bear family leaves the den. The baby bears see their icy world for the first time. They explore and play in the snow. Cute little picture of a polar bear cub. A mother polar bear eats nothing all winter. She's able to stay alive because her body uses up fat that she has stored before she hibernated in her den. Bear lessons. After leaving the den, the hungry mother bear soon heads for the floating ice. The cubs learn how to catch seals by watching their hunt. This is very important. The babies still drink milk, though, until they are about 20 months old. That's almost 2 years old. When the cubs are 2 to 3 years old, then they leave their mother and they are ready to be grown-up polar bears. Polar bear cubs learn how to swim by following their mother. When she jumps into the water, the babies join her. The little bears splash around until they figure out how to swim. The people who live in the Arctic have given polar bears many names. They are known as sea bears, ice bears, and white bears. And these are 6-month-old cubs, just so that you can kind of see the size. Okay. So, my friends, remember the Arctic is at the very top of the earth. Down at the bottom, it's called the Antarctic, and the continent down there is called Antarctica. And just a fun fact for you, Antarctica starts with, it has A-N-T at the beginning of it, and when I was learning the difference between the two, I just remembered that ants go underground, so Antarctica is at the bottom, or the South Pole, and the Arctic is up at the top. Blizzards are storms with strong winds and blowing snow. Blubber is a layer of fat under the skin of animals such as seals and whales. A den is a home where wild animals can rest and be safe and have babies. And the shore is the land along the edge of the river, lake, or ocean. Okay, at the back, my friends, we have the index. The index has keywords, and it tells you the pages. It's not like the table of contents. The table of contents, it tells you sections, and the index is going to get a little more specific, and it's going to tell you the actual page. So, I enjoyed reading with you. I can't wait until next week. So hopefully you guys will be back home, or back to school. I feel like it's home. Back to school soon. Stay safe, and it's Miss Fouts coming to you from the Snow Cave.